Welcome to Old Guy Tech,
the OGT.TV recording studio.
Technology for the rest of us.
Hi, I'm Rob Charney with Old Guy Tech Interviews, and I'm here today with Dave Souza, running for El Dorado County Supervisor District 4, and it's been so nice of him to come into the studio and give us some ideas about what Dave's all about and why you're running, and thank you very much for coming into Old Guy Tech Studios, and thanks for coming to our interview show. And so why don't we just start this out a little bit by saying, what is it that you do, and why is it that you wanted to run for Supervisor?
Well, there's many reasons that I decided and some other people wanted me to run. Mm-hmm. I've always given back. My family's always given back to the community. Ever since I was a little kid, we've always given back. Mm-hmm. And there's a story many years later where I came up to El Dorado County full-time in 1974. There was a time, and I graduated from high school in 74. Okay. So I thought that, hey, man, I got the bull by the horns. You know, I mean, I got a brand new truck. You know, I'm living on the ranch. You know, what I found out, it's tough being 17 years old and going out on your own. Mm-hmm. And there's a little store in my area, Garden Valley, and I didn't have a lot of money, and so they would give me credit once a month. I would pay the bill. And it went well for a few months. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't work. I couldn't find a job at 17 years old. Right. You know, there's nothing in the Georgetown, Garden Valley area. You know, it was very part-time.
Tough today.
It's very tough today. I'm so blessed now. Anyway, there was some months that I couldn't pay my bill. So I went in there one time and I said, hey, you know, Frank, I just can't, I don't have the money to pay the grocery bill. And he says, don't worry about it. Someone's been taking care of your bill. And from that day until now, I still don't know who paid my grocery bill.
Is that right?
I have no idea, not a clue.
You had an angel.
Yes. And so I when I grew up, when I was growing up young, my folks always gave. I always gave. Yeah. So that it came back twofold that time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's totally amazing.
Yeah,
totally amazing.
Yeah, because I lived at 17 too, and nobody paid my grocery bill. Yeah. So I know what it is, you know, to do that. So. Yeah.
And then I was when I retired from the sheriff's department in 2006. I went back to the ranch working at full time. Mm-hmm. And then I became on a fire board. I was elected on a fire board. And there was one day that we were in with the supervisor that has District 4 now in his private office. And we were talking about fire consolidations. And we had a nice talk. He said something one day, and he said something entirely different the next day in the Board of Supervisors. There was a bunch of us in the crowd watching, and I leaned over to one of the fire chiefs, a very big-time fire chief down in El Dorado Hills area. Right. And I says, he just lied. And he says, well, you should run. And I says, no. I says, I will not run for the Board of Supervisors. I didn't even think about it. Yeah. Well, rumor got around, and some very nice people that are within the county, very prominent people, says, you should. And I says, no. And they said, yes, you will. That's how it all got started.
Wow.
Yeah. And always giving back to it goes back, giving back to the community. Yeah. You know?
Well, you know, I don't care win, lose, or draw. Just the ability to stand up and run, I'm in awe of. Because I've been asked many times to run. And, you know, I'm fairly well known in the county. And I could put on a good race. I just don't want to. I'd rather be in the background.
I know.
You know?
That's the way I am. I like to be in the back.
Yeah, I'd rather be in the background. And it's not, and this show's not about me, but I've sat on the Transportation Commission, the Transit Authority, Fish and Game Commission, grand jury. I mean, I've given to this county just like you want to do now too by running for supervisor. And I always find that people that have sat on boards like you have have the experience to understand what it's like to be on a board, what the Brown Act is all about, how you conduct yourself. Because we get a lot of people who run, and God bless them, thanks for running, but they don't have a clue of the process.
Right.
And so at least you have an idea on what it's like to sit on a board and how the process goes. So what are your goals? I mean, now you're running and, you know, they talked you into it and you decided I'm going to be the busiest person in the next 3 months that I've ever been. Because I well know what each meet and greet is all about and coming in our studio, and I can't thank you more for doing that. But
Thank you.
yeah, where are we going with this?
Well, I started my campaign in 2011.
Okay.
This all went down in 2011,
Okay.
and took out my papers with the state. My background, of course, is fire and sheriff, public safety, and that is my platform, is public safety. If we don't have public safety, we don't have much. You know, we can talk about building more homes. Well, you can build more homes. Where's the water going to come from? But we need, if we build more homes, we're going to need more public safety officers, more firefighters, more cops.
Right.
You know, even more teachers.
Right.
You know, nurses, things like that. So that's what I want to focus on.
Okay.
In my future. on the Board
So
of
a
Supervisors.
growth and expansion or non-expansion is really what you're looking at. You know,
Well,
homes
we
historically.
have growth. We need growth.
Well, we need growth.
Yes.
Homes historically have not been what drives the economy. It's usually business. You want to bring some businesses in here.
Sure.
How would you attract businesses to El Dorado County?
I'm going to tell you something. 3 words. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I can blow smoke, but I won't do that. I don't think El Dorado County is business friendly to the small business. You know, you can bring in the Targets and you can bring in the Walmarts and the big box stores. And I think the people in El Dorado County, most people, don't want to see that. You know, they want to see the mom and pop shops. And the mom and pop shops are going away, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know, my experience on this is that there are some people that say we don't want the big box stores, but the reality is most of our tax dollars go down the hill because the box stores are down there.
Right.
So I look at it, you know, if it was me, yeah, I know the Walmart haters, and yeah, I understand people against Target, and yeah, I understand people against, well, you know, Best Buy, whatever. But the facts are that the big box stores employ people.
You bet.
Okay, and one of the biggest things, Dave, that you're going to have to work on is that tax base. Because if our sales tax keeps going downhill, we're not going to be able to pay our bills. Now, my understanding, you correct me if I'm wrong here, my understanding on the financial front is that the county is okay right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We're in the black.
We're in the black.
Yeah.
And
Thanks to a lot of people.
okay, you know, how now, without getting into the retirement issue, because we've got a big hole in that retirement issue that when you get elected, you may wonder why you wanted to run for this office, because it's serious. It's a serious issue, but we won't get into that. What do you see? I mean, you talked about the fact that if we have growth, we also have to increase public safety, increase infrastructure. And one of the things that's happening in the county right now is that we have not paid attention to our facilities. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to tour some of the different buildings around here, but we've got some
You
buildings.
mean county buildings?
County buildings that I wouldn't want to work in. I know for a fact the Sheriff's Department building is in awful
I
shape.
agree 100%.
You know,
100%.
John's got people down there where their jail used to be that really shouldn't be working in there.
Right.
But he has no choice.
Right.
And of course, then he's got all these outbuildings, right?
Right.
So how is your feeling about facilities? What do you think the solution is to our problem?
Let's just talk about the sheriff's department.
Okay,
Okay.
let's do
We can
that.
talk about the fire districts.
Sure.
We can talk the Taj Mahal fire districts down in El Dorado Hills.
Yeah.
Sorry. But the sheriff's office, yes. You know, I've been in that sheriff's building, and it's
Sure.
terrible. You know, and
It was terrible 20 years ago.
Yes. And how old is that building? 40-something years?
Oh, 50 something,
Is
I
it?
think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so, yes, we do need a new sheriff's station. And there are so many different departments within the sheriff's department that should be all together in one big building.
Exactly.
And what's happening is you have the sheriff's department facilities all over this county,
Right.
and we're paying rent.
Right.
You and I are paying rent on those.
Exactly.
You know, and put everything in a big law enforcement building where everything's there. Maybe probation, inmate work crews, detectives, you name it. Whatever the sheriff's department needs, it should be in one facility. And it's going to cut down on a lot of time, a lot of driving, you know.
Yeah, in the long run, it's going to save a tremendous amount of money. And I think the supervisors have been very short-sighted in not getting this done a long time ago.
Right.
That building now is at a point where they can't put any more money in it because there's not enough money to fix it.
I understand it leaks too.
The only thing that's going to fix it is a bulldozer.
Yeah.
You know, really. So when you sit on that board, hopefully you are going to be in a position to help guide the county into making sure that our facilities are, one, in the right location, and two, that we are all together. Because not only is the sheriff's department renting buildings all over, they're in Diamond Springs, they're on Broadway, they're everywhere.
That's not common sense.
And we're not calling them substations because they're just trying to put bodies places. Right. And that's happening with animal control services. They have the same situation. They're in a crappy building now, and others. And it seems like the mentality of supervisors previously has always been, we'll put it off and let somebody else worry about it. It's time to stand up, don't you think?
Yes. There's an old saying, and President Reagan was one of, I met him, and I go to his ranch. Not his ranch anymore.
Right.
But I've always believed in what he said, and it says, let's don't mend it, let's fix it. And that's a quote from President Ronald Reagan.
Right.
And I believe in that.
Yeah.
I believe in that. So yeah, I don't care where they put the new sheriff's building. I know there's talk about it. You know, I don't care where they put it. That's up to them. But we need a new facility.
What I really hope is that we take the politics out of picking the location.
Definitely.
Well, unfortunately, from what I'm hearing, it's rearing its ugly head again because we've got a couple people that are really pushing to put it on their property.
Their property.
We're tired. I'm tired of the good old boy mentality as far as that situation. I've watched Board of Supervisors since 1982, do buddies favors by, we're going to buy his piece of property. Yeah, it's not the perfect place, but he's a buddy of mine, so I'm going to make sure, that we got to take the politics out of it.
That's not right.
No, it isn't. And I'm glad to hear you say that because, unfortunately, that's not the way we've rolled here in this county.
Yeah. And I hate the word politician. I just it makes my hair stand up. If you want to call me a politician, call me a people's politician.
Yeah.
A taxpayer's politician. And some people don't like that.
We made an analogy. We do a show every Wednesday night called Opinion versus Opinion, and we made an analogy difference between what a person actually does and what he is as a politician. And we have come to the conclusion that there are two distinct, different entities in the same person, because you have to be a politician to run and to get elected and to shake those hands and get your voice out. But once you're in, now you're the advocate. If you're in my district, I expect you to be my advocate and listen to us. Have you had the opportunity, this is my ignorance, have you had the opportunity to have any town hall meetings and meet with the people in your district and listen to what they're saying?
There's been a couple different forums that we've already been to. The Women's Federated Republican luncheons.
Okay.
I've spoken there with the other folks that are running against me. There's a lot of things that are coming up in April that my emails it's being burnt like crazy.
Well, your little appointment book's going to be really full.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Absolutely.
But yes, I'm in throughout the county every day. And it might not be just talking one-on-one. There's a lot of times where I'll be on the computer, and there's a lot of things that I can talk to people on the computer.
Absolutely.
I do go to some of the Board of Supervisors meetings. I do sit there. But thank God for the 21st century, I can sit home with a cup of coffee and I can watch the Board of Supervisors.
That's right.
On television.
And that's what we are. We do the same thing.
Yeah,
You can sit at home and watch us.
You know, I like the old school. I'm definitely old school.
Right.
But you know, this is kind of cool. Where I can sit home
Yeah.
in my sweats with a cup of coffee and
Yeah.
I can watch what's going on
Exactly.
at our county level.
Absolutely.
government,
And
you
that's
know.
the way I think that's a lot of ways. Unless you want to come up and speak, and you know, if you have as a citizen, so I watch the agenda as it comes across, and sometimes there are items that strike my fancy, and I'll go down there to make sure that I get my point across. Not always receptive, are they? But but at least I'm going to do that. So tell me, what are the constituents in your district? What are they telling you that they want? What is it that they're looking for?
My district is pretty much rural. Of course, my district starts in Cameron Park, which is it starts right across the street from the Cameron Park Airport.
Okay.
So I have, just in Cameron Park alone, I have about 5,000 constituents in District 4.
Okay.
That's how they redistricted.
Yeah, it's an odd. A lot of people don't even know where they are. By the way, go out and find out what district
Yeah,
you're in.
find out
you
where
may have
you're at.
changed,
I-
not knowing.
This is so funny. I had one guy come up to me and he says, "Did you win?" And I said, "Well, did you vote for me?" He said, "Yeah, I voted for you."
Well,
I didn't say a word.
Hey,
I
know,
didn't say a word.
you kept
So
your
find
mouth
out
shut.
where you're.
Yeah.
Find out where you live.
Exactly.
Yeah, in what district.
Know
But-
what district you're in.
But I do. I'm throughout my district quite a bit.
Yeah.
So and I listen. I'm a great listener. You know, this is the much I've talked in a long time.
Well, that's good.
I hate to talk. I just.
we got to get you talking.
I know. But I do. I'm a great listener.
Good.
Great listener. They're concerned. I talked to some gentleman about mining. You know.
Sure.
There's no more dredging in the state of California.
I know. Can you
And
believe
in
that?
El Dorado County, we have gold here in El Dorado
yeah,
County. More
yeah.
ways than just gold. So I would like to see gold dredging come back. And there is a lawsuit, class
Yeah.
action lawsuit that's going to be next month, no, May, in Santa Barbara. And it's a preliminary hearing, but to talk about, let's bring back mining.
Yeah.
Another thing in my area, Georgetown area, logging. Logging has just you don't see it anymore. You know, when I was younger, we'd sit on Main Street.
Oh, yeah.
And there'd be logging trucks back and forth.
The best renewable resource we have in this world are our trees. And this whole idea about tramping in the forest destroys whatever kind of.
Yeah, the yellow
irks me.
frog.
Yeah. Be careful.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean, we have things in this county that we can't do now. That how the mentality changed so much
Right.
that we can't dredge, we can't mine. I don't know about you, but I'm a big time shooter. I do, I'm a big Second Amendment guy. and-
amen.
Yeah, and I shoot a
Amen.
lot. And just recently came across my desk was a notice stating that the last operating lead mine in the United States has shut down. There's no more mining of lead in the United States as of right now. Now, the so-called talking heads say we have so much lead in reserve that we don't need to mine. Yeah, okay, whatever. But what's happened is, lead's a hazardous material, but it can be handled properly. And why would you stop mining in it if we're going to need it? Where are all these little electric cars going to get their batteries from? So here we are again.
That's a good question.
In this country, having to reach out to another country to get the products that we need.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
That's the same as jobs in the county, don't you think? We have the same situation in here. And I think it's important that, as you go on and you talk to more people, I want to hear from them, just like calling in the show. I want to hear from our residents in El Dorado County. What is it that you want to bring back to El Dorado County? Get these jobs started here. We need the 30-somethings, the 20-somethings, the 40-somethings to be able to work in El Dorado County and not have to keep that funnel down Highway 50 and getting out of the county.
It's happening. That's where it's all going.
So how do we change that? Yeah, see, I do the
What
same
did I say?
thing.
I
Yeah.
said the 3 words.
I don't know. Yeah, but we're going to find out.
We're going to work on
Yeah.
it. That's economic things we need to
Yeah.
need this in El Dorado County, and that's why we want to bring back logging and dredging and things like that.
That make jobs
You
and
know?
make good paying jobs.
Yes.
Yes. And more than just what the box stores are going to pay. I have mixed feelings in some respect.
too.
I need them. I think we need them because because of the tax base. We need to be able. I mean, I look at it in El Dorado County. We don't even have a Ford dealership in El Dorado County anymore. Really, the number one truck in the world, and we don't have a dealership up here in a rural community that would drive nothing but Fords if there was a dealer here. Ron Thompson's probably rolling around yelling at me right now. Ron, I love your GMCs too, so don't worry about it. But that's my point, though. Where are those tax dollars going? Right on down to Folsom and Sacramento. And so I think it's important that we figure out, how do we make El Dorado County business friendly? Have you paid attention at all to the TIM fees? Do you understand how that works in our county?
I'll be speaking with some people tonight about TIM fees. Thank God there's a group that is from Georgetown Divide that really pushed to lower the TIM fees 25%.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to.
For 2 years. Then they're going to revisit it in 2 years.
I have no problem with that. If you want to sunset it and then bring it back, that's fine. Right. But we have to do something. It costs so much to build in El Dorado County, between the EID hookup fees, which are incredible.
GPUD water.
Yep, water fees, school fees, all the fees that are put in. And folks, when I say fees, I really mean taxes, okay? Because it's a pretty... And like Dave said, he's not a politician. It's a pretty thing for politicians to say fees instead of taxes.
I like the word tax.
It's a tax, guys.
Negative,
Who are they fooling?
Yeah.
Right? So we know for a fact that, our taxes, we don't have an ability to attract business in El Dorado County, because it seems that the supervisors are not willing to help with the infrastructure. Now, look at Texas. Representatives from Texas have come to El Dorado County and gone to the number of businesses that are located in the business park and some other areas and said, you know what? You move to Texas, we'll give you water, we'll give you electricity, we'll build your roads for you, we'll give you tax breaks for 10 years. Come here.
And it's happening.
And it's happening.
Yeah.
No income tax, state income tax paid in there. Their sales tax base is fairly low. They want you there. They beg you to come there. Are we doing any of that here?
No, not at all.
Yeah, not that I can see.
Not at all. And just building a home, and it depends on where you live in El Dorado County, the tax base. But still, it's very high.
That's right.
There was some time back, I says, you know what? Here's an idea. Let's lower the building permit taxes down a little bit. And if you can't pay the whole thing, write a check when you walk into that building. How about payments? What a concept. Payments.
Yes.
Huh?
How about that?
What a concept.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I'd like to see.
Yeah. Well,
lower the fee, lower the taxes, but
it's kind of happening in the loan process. So they throw those taxes into, when you're doing your final loan payments and all of that. Those TIM fees and that type of thing when you build a house are thrown in there. And so in a way they are paying monthly for that. But that's still a great idea, because not everybody has to go out and get a loan to build a house. People have enough money on their own maybe to actually get the shovel-ready portion of the house done. But you throw in a $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 tax on top of that before you even put that shovel in the ground.
That's right.
How do we do that?
That's a lot of moolah.
How do we keep the contractors working? How do we keep all the skilled labor here? We lost the recession still is here in El Dorado County, folks. I don't care what the President of the United States is telling you. I don't care what the governor of the state of California is telling you. We're still in a recession here in El Dorado County. Because we've lost contractors, we've lost the skilled labor. I mean, I know electricians, carpenters, plumbers that have all left the county. And all those people that work around with them, the computer guys, the CAD guys, all these lumber mills that are not here anymore because of it, we can't continue without trying to figure out a way of attracting those people to come back. But I don't hear a solution.
Yeah.
It just seems like the answer that we get too much is, well, we're just going to keep taxing them. We're going to tax them some more. Hey, you know what? The fire district just added a fire fee on to all of us in certain rural areas. I just paid my bill.
You're talking the state.
The state
Yeah.
fire fee. You know, I had to pay tax. You know, I wrote a check for $117 today to them that, I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, don't you get enough out of me already? You know?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that someday that one's really looked at the state level, because that's just a rip-off.
Well, we got Howard Jarvis tax people looking at it, and
I hope
there's a
so.
lawsuit.
Hey, you know, we had and I don't want to name names, but we had one of the supervisors that doesn't have to run this year that told me, he said he liked the fact that that fee is there. They need it. Really? Okay, well, you know, it must be nice to have a $200,000 a year retirement fee, you know, that you don't have to collect the fee.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
supervisor.
There's a lot of people that are retired that can't even afford to eat, and they have to pay that extra fire tax. Come on.
Yeah, and that's the other problem, right? We have so many people in the county that are unemployed. We have a lot of disenfranchised people that fallen off the unemployment rolls. I mean, they haven't been able to get a job for 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
And sometimes the crime goes up after that too.
Well, sometimes
brings
it
you
does.
back to public safety, doesn't
Sometimes it does. And you know, and we talked about, you know, when you talk about public safety in brick and mortar store situations, you know, you have to have the fire department fees that are involved in there, law enforcement, obviously, road maintenance fees, everything that's taxed into that. If you're a business owner, I mean, you get hit. I have to pay this unsecured property tax as a business owner. So I'm paying taxes on top of taxes again. And I don't understand that. I mean, you know, where's my representation for the taxes that I'm supposedly paying? And I don't care what anybody says. I believe in the United States, we are the most taxed country in the world. Because not only do we pay a tax when we buy something, that unsecured property tax. I bought this set of headphones, right? When I bought this at the store, I paid taxes. Now, our assessor is saying, oh, by the way, I need to know how much you paid for those headphones so that I can tax my portion on it too.
There's a good answer for that. None of your business.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't pay that, and I understand it.
Right.
And because you won't get the money out of me until the very last moment. And it just kills me. Let's attract business. They put big sign. We want business to come into El Dorado County. But let's not tell them, what, you know, as the years go on, that they're going to be paying taxes for, you know. And I get this from these guys that come in and say, well, everybody in the state pays that. So does that make it right?
Right.
Doesn't make it right.
No, it doesn't make it right at all.
So I want you to make it a priority of trying to get jobs in El Dorado County. I think it's important, and we have to attract that tax base. I think that's really important. And why am I doing all the talking?
I said I'm a great listener.
Well, maybe I can help you a little bit. You know, you can see I've been doing this for a while, and I know what needs to be done and where it needs to be done and how it needs to be done. And I'll be glad to talk to you at any time on this thing. But I want you to go out and listen to your constituents out there. I want you to listen to people and come up with some good ideas. So the next time you come into the studio, you say, hey, you know what? I've got some great ideas now, and I have a plan for it. And I'm going to throw one more thing out at you that our government just can't wait to get their hands on. You mentioned you're on the internet, and you sit there on the internet, and you're able to watch us, or you're able to watch the supervisors live and sit back there. So in our country now, our politicians are out there saying, hey, you know, there's all kinds of commerce going on all over the world, and these people are not paying sales tax. So when you buy something on
Amazon,
Newegg, Tiger Direct, whatever, that may not have an actual location within the state of California,
I see.
you get to buy that without having to pay sales tax. Well, they're fighting tooth and nail so that we have to pay that. Now, technically in California, when you buy something from an online store, you're supposed to report that to the state of California. Like hell I'm going to. but you know, that's the truth, and that's what they want. So it seems to me that educate yourself a little bit in what also happens outside the county that affects the county, because that internet sales tax situation is going to affect us here as well. And then there's a thing called net neutrality. Educate yourself on that, because what that's going to be is that it's going to cost you more to go places on the internet, because now only certain entities own the internet. Our government's letting this happen. So there's things for you to look for. We're about at our 30-minute point, Dave, and I've done most of the talking. Why don't you just look in that camera and, tell your passion, and one more time, try to get the people to understand who you are and why they should vote for you.
As I said, I'm not going to go back to how we started, but always give back. Always give back to your community. Always give back to your families, and that's what I want to do. It's not the money. It's not the. I don't have an agenda. There's a very special person dear to my heart that's a public figure, and he looked at me and he says, "You don't have an agenda, do you?" And I says, "No, I don't have an agenda. My agenda is to take care of people, take care of the taxpayers." One of the things that we didn't bring up was the pay. It's already been brought up about, Dave, you were with the sheriff's department. You have a pension. Well, it's not a big pension. I get, I'd say, 40 to 45% of
What's
pay,
made, yeah.
right? And while you are running out of your house, I was running in your house. And I don't care about the firefighting or law. Public safety ran into your house when you had a problem. Another way that I'm going to give back is, and I've already said this to a couple of groups, is I'm going to give back 10% of any pay that I get from the county. Give 10% back, and no health benefits. I already have health benefits, so I'm going to give that back too, and that's adds up to a hunk of change.
Yeah.
And when I said that, some of the other people running against me, you can just see them go, "Oh my God, oh no." But I believe in that. I believe in giving back to the community.
Yeah. Well, if you can afford to do that, I think it's a wonderful thing. And that's not saying there's some people that are running that maybe can't afford to do that. So it's a wonderful opportunity that you're giving, and that's good. So.
And heritage. That's another thing in El Dorado County. We're losing our heritage.
Yeah.
It's being paved over. El Dorado County is being paved over by more building. So I want to keep the heritage going alive too. I do the Highway 50 wagon train. I don't do it every year, but I've done Highway 50 wagon train. I have draft horses, and I pull wagons with them at different events. So that's another heritage history thing that's we're losing in El Dorado County. And there's so many restrictions now on different public events, and we're scared to do different public events now because the county's going to come down on us, or the government.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens in Sacramento shouldn't affect what we do in El Dorado County. I want to bring it back to local government.
On the county level.
On the county level. I don't want some guy down in Sacramento telling us what is best for us in El Dorado County. Let us decide what's best for us in El Dorado County, and that's another reason why I'm running. Let's bring it back to the county level.
I hope we can, but the state is
I'm
always
gonna
going to
push
lurk.
for it.
The state is always going to lurk over us, but that's good.
Well, look what happened just yesterday. Some of our senators down there. It's not good. That's why another reason to bring it back to the county level.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk off
another
air
time.
about what
Yeah.
because there's,
Hey, tell it the way it is. Shoot from the hip.
Oh, I know.
Shoot
I
from
know.
the hip.
You got to do it. I get myself in enough trouble on some of these issues as it is, but you know what? All I can do is thank you very much for running, and
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck. And I'm excited to we get through the primaries, and I'm excited to have you come back.
I'd love to.
And talk about. Now that you've educated yourself and you've learned some things and you have some ideas, I'm really looking forward to you coming back and telling me, hey, I've got some ideas and this is really what I want to do.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. And there's a lot to learn.
Yeah. There's a lot to learn.
I don't have all the answers. And the folks running...
Nobody does.
And the folks running against me don't have all the answers.
No.
And if they tell you they have the answers, they're blowing smoke.
That's right.
You know,
right.
don't believe that. Don't believe
Yeah,
that.
it's very tough until you sit in that seat. You know, it's very tough. It's easy to make promises, but as we know, most of the politicians don't necessarily stick to those promises.
No, not
So-
my word. I stick with.
So
You know,
Dave says, hey, we want to bring back to El Dorado County. We want to keep our history and our heritage here in El Dorado County. And we want to do what we can to keep it the county that it is. And once again, thank you very much for coming and visiting us
Thank
here.
you. Thank
And I
you.
really appreciate it. Had a great time. Hopefully a few of you saw us. If not, go to YouTube. The show will be up tomorrow. And Dave will send you an email and let you know so that you can put this video on your website. And then hopefully we can get some of you out there also donate to us. We're a fully funded donation company, and we're always saying hit that donation button, so we appreciate it. You know what? This is Rob with Old Guy Tech Interviews. We'll see you next time. Thanks again, Dave.
happy trails.